girl, we got to get into this, and we going to get into all of this article. So y'all go ahead, come on in. We got 400 people in here. Let's go ahead and get them likes up to about 200, honey. Go ahead and hit that tap for me. Tap, tippity, tap, 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 tap. Listen, y'all know I have been covering this for pretty much this year. Pretty much. Since I saw the documentary with Wendy Williams, I've been noticing and calling out the BS right out the gate. Thank you so much, Janie, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I've been calling out, a lot of the BS that I've seen. Shout out to the U.S. Sun, because I feel like their article typically has the most detailed information for me. And of course, we're about to talk about Wendy Williams, as you guys see on the screen. Like, it just really frustrates me. It's so unfortunate for people that are new to the channel, aren't familiar with guardianships. It's not too different than a conservatorship that Britney Spears had. And primarily it happens to older couples, or older, I'm not going to say couples, but older people. So if you want to know about that, I do have a video on my channel. I think it's about an hour long, talking about guardianships and how they take over. Like, they threaten people, they take over your life, and they take over your money. They become in charge of your finances and everything. And a lot of what they do for you, they charge you for. If you have property that's being sold, they make money off of that. It's a mess. It is a mess. There was one guardian out in Las Vegas that did get sued. I believe she had to serve time, may still be serving time. I think she had to pay back maybe 10 million, 9 million, can't remember. They sued her for a lot of money once the daughter finally found out where her parents were. Okay, because they remove you. You can't talk to your family. None of that. It's like crazy. With the Wendy Williams situation, they threatened her son. Her son, I believe, was the power of attorney over her or whatever. They threatened her son, and they put out these salacious things, making it appear as though he was mishandling his mama's money and all of that. And a lot of people on social media drug the hell out of him, talking about, oh, you spend 80,000 on this and that, Uber Eats, all the stuff that his mama had already approved, right? So it was just a mess. Okay. We're getting into more of the details here. Shout out to Jessica Finn, senior investigations and exclusives reporter over at The Sun, because she wrote this article. Over here, we're getting into more detail because it appears that Wendy had a great amount of money in the bank. Wendy was trying to move her money from one bank to a whole nother bank. Okay. I do remember that conversation being had. I remember when Wendy wanted to buy that home that her son ended up, I think he got evicted from, the loft or whatever it was, condo or something she was trying to purchase for him. She was renting it out first, and then she was going to buy it for like a meal or however much, right? She told the person, I believe at Wells Fargo, I think she was trying to go from Wells Fargo to Bank of America, but she was at Wells Fargo, told them about it. This is what I want to do. The person had a full understanding of what Wendy wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, at some point when Wendy was ready to press that button and apply that pressure to go ahead and get what she needed to get for her son, and around this same time, what was happening was that she was not doing the show, from my understanding, because she was ill or whatever the case was. All of a sudden, she went into a guardianship. All this money this woman had, now all of a sudden she ain't got no damn money. The attorney that's in charge of her, Sabrina Morisi, came and told Wendy that she ain't got no damn money, which was also not making sense to me, because how was Kevin, her ex-husband, Kelvin, whatever, Mr. Hunter, how was he awarded so much of money after the divorce? How was he? And I know a lot of people say, oh, he shouldn't get no money, he cheated on her. Try, y'all say what y'all want. Wendy knew everything that was going on until he had that baby, was when she decided to leave. He had been messing with that lady for 10 years. Y'all would be a fool to think Wendy didn't know shit about it. Okay. All right. So she was cool with it until that baby came. And then now she want to all of a sudden get the hell out of Dodge. Now she wants a divorce. But either way, at the end of the day, whether you like that he's getting money or not, they signed an agreement. This was something that Wendy agreed to, paying this man his money. Obviously, this woman has some coinage in the bank, I would believe, on top of whatever additional money she had coming in, for him to receive so much of money from her. I believe Kevin also knew about how much she had in the bank, which is now why I believe it was like back in April, he went to court with Sabrina Morisi, because once she took over guardianship of Wendy, they cut off all of like all financial stuff. Like he wasn't getting his money or none of that. Right. Um, and so now he's requesting to receive documentation because they're trying to say, oh, well, you may owe us money. You may owe Wendy so much of money back. Right, for whatever reason. So they're having this whole situation where he's trying to dispute some things. He's trying to get his money back. He's requesting certain documents from Sabrina Morisi. Sabrina was supposed to get this man these documents, I believe, in 2022. Okay. Has yet to get a man the documents. She tried to talk to the judge and get the judge to not do it when they had the whole hearing. And the judge was like, get that man what he needs. He needs the proper discovery in order to actually have a case. You're supposed to share your findings with the other attorney so they both can prepare accordingly. That's just what it is. Okay. Even though he doesn't have an attorney right now, I believe he's kind of like representing himself. And so I don't know if she's gotten him those documents or what is happening, but her best friend is now speaking out and she's saying what it is that she saw in Wendy's account before this situation happened with her having a guardianship and getting snatched up. The surprise for me is that somehow Sabrina Morisi has always been in the picture. Now, I thought Sabrina came into the picture after the fact when she became the guardian, as she was appointed by a judge that often appoints a lot of attorneys over other people in New York. But it seems like Sabrina was there from the beginning because she was sitting in on that meeting with Bank of America when Wendy wanted to take her funds from Wells Fargo and put them over here to Bank of America. Ain't that some shit? And then came back and told Wendy that she ain't have no fucking money. But this article can tell you better than I can. So let's get into the Sun, okay? These are their reports, not mine. I am just reading, okay, and giving my opinion. Now, they say, where's Wendy's money? Wendy Williams had about $55 million in the bank before the Guardian took over and told her she had no money left, according to the court documents, okay? Child, this is messy. Now, they're saying in an affidavit submitted to a New Jersey court and exclusively obtained by the Sun, Wendy's best friend of 44 years, Regina, claimed to have seen the star's Wells Fargo bank accounts. Now, in July of 2022, Wendy invited her over to stay with her in New York City for an extended period of time. And this is according to the affidavit. Now, during that visit, Wendy expressed to her that she wished to explore options regarding her estate, specifically a possible change with her current financial institution. She also shared with her documents from Wells Fargo showing a cumulative balance of nearly $55 million. Let that marinate. Okay. Now they go on to say the friend went on to claim that in December of that year, which was 2022, from my understanding, she was invited to join Wendy in a meeting with another bank. Interesting. Now let me go back. I'm trying to think now. So let me see. Let me go back. So was it 2022? So that was in July. So then in December. So when did Wendy get into the conservatorship? Was that at the top of 2022 or 2023? Now, I even feel like it was 2021. So I got to go back and check these dates. Okay. But anywho, so that means that Sabrina would not. So because I thought Wendy went into conservatorship in 2021. Let me see. Because, girl, that's crazy. Okay. So she had been in, she went in 2022 is what it's saying. Wendy had been under court-appointed guardianship since 2022 after Wells Fargo said she was a victim of financial exploitation. So then who exploited her? That's interesting. While her legal guardian tried to block the documentary from airing, the move was denied in court. Okay, so that was in 2022. I believe she went into that. Let me see. It looks like they're trying to say she went into it in May. She may have gone into it in May. Let me see. But I thought it was January. Let me see. Okay, no, it was May. Okay. They're saying that yeah, it was May 2022. So in July, so she went into the guardianship in 20, which is interesting. She went into the guardianship in 2022 of May is what they're saying. Right? So then in July was when a meeting was had. She stayed for an extended period of time. And that's when Wendy shared with her that she had nearly $55 million from in the Wells Fargo account. Okay. Now in December, she was invited to join Wendy in another bank meeting. And that's when Sabrina came into play. So it seems like I was right. She wasn't in a part of Wendy's life prior to the conservatorship. She became the guardianship. She came into the guardianship in May 2022. The friend came in July. Wendy said, girl, this is how much coin I got. All right. December, they have a meeting. Let's keep going. Now, Wendy has scheduled an appointment with Bank of America's private banking group, which included the senior vice president, private client advisor, wealth strategy, market director, and several others to outline the best products available. Okay. I remained present during the entire presentation, the friend says. Following the meeting, I witnessed Wendy handing the Bank of America proposals and documents to Miss Sabrina Morisi, as we were all in the same vehicle driving to the courthouse. However, just days later, Wendy's friend claimed a dramatic turn was revealed. Days later, she says, I returned to my home in California and received an urgent call from Wendy's then publicist. The publicist claimed to have overheard a conversation between Wendy and Sabrina, whereas Sabrina Morisi gave Wendy the unfortunate news that there is no money in Wendy's accounts. Girl, what? In disbelief, I immediately contacted Sabrina Morisi. Sabrina Morisi and I have been in regular contact, and I fully expected her to tell me there was some sort of miscommunication. But instead, I was blocked from all communication with her and denied access to my beloved friend. This is messy here, girl. Now, they're saying May 1st of 2023 was the last time I spoke with Wendy. Damn. Girl, it's been over a year. I hereby affirm that the foregoing statements are true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. The affidavit was submitted by Regina in Wendy's. See, this is what I figured. Okay, in Kevin Hunter's divorce case. And we got into this, back in April, when the judge told her that she needed to submit them damn documents. Yeah, I'll never forget. She said this: I've done what I can do under the New York court, but it's very difficult to put out stuff that's supposed to be private. Because the judge was scolding her about not giving Kevin the documents that he needs to move forward with this case. And she's saying that I've tried what I can, but I don't want the information to really get out there. Like, it's really hard with this information. Girl, this stuff is public information. If you feel that bad about the stuff getting out there, why don't you have the document sealed in some type of capacity? Okay, the same way you tried to have the lawsuit drop and you tried to have some other record sealed, then why don't you just get it sealed in since you feel that way? Girl, you know how this works. You've been an attorney for a very long periodically time. Let's see what else they're saying. Kevin continues to battle the guardian in court. This has been since his agree to severance payments in their divorce suddenly ceased when Wells Fargo froze Wendy's accounts and guardian Sabrina took over the former TV host affairs. Now here, as much as I blame Sabrina, and I don't know if she has a hand with Wells Fargo or not, I also blame Wells Fargo because I feel like Wendy had a whole lot of coinage over there and Wells Fargo froze them accounts because they didn't want her to snatch that shit out and give it to Bank of America because they probably didn't have all her coins because they was over there playing with her fucking money anyway. Okay. Now, I don't know what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if they did freeze it because they didn't want her to take it, but had to turn around and unfreeze it. And by the time it was unfrozen, who's to say Sabrina could have possibly been in charge of it by then? That's crazy work. But at the end of the day, the lady had money over there. Because if you're going to freeze her accounts, I feel like she had to have something over there for it to be frozen. So you can't just go to her and be like, oh, you ain't got no money. Then why the hell would they freeze an account that ain't got no coinage? And y'all knew she was trying to make the shift and the change. And she gave the documentation to Sabrina, according to the friend. So Sabrina, did you go and take that over to? And then that's crazy to me too, because I feel like, Sabrina didn't want this documentary to be out because she felt like Wendy wasn't in her best mind. Was she in her best mind when she gave you all of her documentation to her accounts? I would think she wasn't then either, for you to be over her. That's crazy work. Then Regina has even spoken about how, about food. Sabrina's supposed to also order food for Wendy. It's times that Wendy don't even get food for hours. So Regina has to, she has to cash out Wendy, or either like not cash out Wendy. No, she has to order Uber Eats and have it sent over there to Wendy. Let me see if I can find that. Cause that's crazy work. Let's see. Is this something? Okay, Wendy's best friend claims legal guardian who was caring for the ailing TV host left her without access to food. Okay. Let's see what they finna say over here.
Consider this your sign to stock up on sun.
They says as she voices doubt about her dementia diagnosis, no doctor has actually confirmed it. Girl, this is some messy shit. When was this article written? Hold on.
I just
in
got
February
a piece
of this year
of information that the woman who is currently the appointed guardian has been accused of a scheme to rob a different client. There's a $30 million suit against her. You have said you have concerns about what is going on with this guardianship. How so?
When I was in New York and staying with Wendy in the summer, I noticed when she would call, she had no access to her money. So every time she had to do anything that she had to pay for, she had to go through the guardian. And she would call to order her breakfast at 7:30 in the morning with the guardian, and she would take the order, and the order wouldn't show up until sometimes noon. And so Wendy wouldn't have any food. And when I went back to LA, I would have to send her food from Los Angeles to New York through delivery service because she the communication wasn't there, and she had no other access to money than this guardian. And so that's what was concerning to me, because she was telling me she didn't have food. And her publicist also, who lives out in LA, both of us were going back and forth sending food to Wendy because she wasn't having access to food.
You know, I was reading in here, Regina, where you were like,
certainly,
where you were worried that one of the impacts of this documentary, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be that Wendy won't work again. But do you believe that she'll ever be in control of her? Go ahead, please.
I think that the depiction of this, what I thought was going to be a comeback kid story, seems to be like a demise of Wendy's story. And I haven't heard an official diagnosis from a doctor. You know, I've heard from this team that we don't know who the team is, and from Kevin and her nephew, Travis, that no doctor has actually confirmed these diagnoses. So, I mean, maybe I'm in denial because I'm so close to the issue. And I have, in reflection, I see the behaviors that could potentially be such a diagnosis. But I don't want to believe that she is, at this point, unproducible. That's not my opinion.
I'll tell you, when I was with her a few summers ago, I guess now, she was impressively a mess. I felt very badly for her. I talked to her about it directly, and as you might imagine, she had absolutely no appetite for the discussion. But she was putting down a lot of substances. And she then wound up going on break to get herself together. Do you believe that Wendy had figured out how to deal with her behaviors before this diagnosis?
Yes, I think that Wendy has always, I've known Wendy since we were 13 years old. Wendy's always been doing what she wants, when she wants, how she wants, and she's very clever. So she could potentially have been getting away, quote unquote, with a diagnosis potentially like this for a long time because she's quite smart. And yeah.
So y'all heard it there. That is just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Ready,
Now,
set.
I do think that, I mean, Wendy definitely, I believe, has something going on. I know it may not have been diagnosed. I mean, at least according to her, I'm not sure if it was or wasn't. But there's obviously something going on, you know, with Wendy. But I don't think it was to a point where she needed to have a guardian, in my opinion. I think when she was with her son, they got video of it. She was doing much better, right, than what we've seen her on the television show. I mean, sure, we even saw that on the documentary, right, where they showed us that she was in better spirits and doing better. And they called and threatened him and told him to send the mama back up here. If you don't, then we're going to charge you with kidnapping. What? And they would have used her condition to say that she's not in her right mind, therefore he kidnapped her. So they threatened this kid who was probably maybe, I don't even know if he was 21. I'm going to say between the ages of 18 and 21 at the time. This is a kid. You're threatening him about his mom. All he want to do is do what's right for his mom, not fully understanding how the legal process works. So, of course, he's going to send his mama back. That's just, and he probably wasn't talking to his dad at the time. You know, they said he swung on his daddy for whatever reason he was upset with his dad about. So he probably wasn't talking to him at the time. For whatever. So he probably couldn't call to really get any advice from him. That's my, alleged thoughts. But that's just crazy. All right. They do go more into the divorce proceedings or whatnot. And it just pretty much confirms that he was supposed to get his money. Period. Wendy's ex-husband, who is also he was the executive producer. He's accused the Guardian of depleting the host's finances. I said that a long time ago. So when he came out and made that post, I was so pissed that a lot of blogs picked up the story, did not care to get an understanding, and ran with it and made it appear as though this man was calling her family out, saying that they were abusing her money, because that's the narrative y'all want to believe, because y'all not going to go deeper and do the research, okay? That's not what he wasn't saying that at all. Okay, he was definitely calling the sister out for being played, because she was still in communication with the networks. Networks was trying to get information out of her about where Wendy is, how she's standing, what's her condition, or whatever. And once they learned that she was doing a little better, they snatched her back. They used y'all to get her to where she needed to be, and then snatched her back from up under y'all. That's what he was calling out. But when he was saying people took her money and stuff, and who had blood on their hands, he wasn't talking about her family necessarily. He was calling the sister out, but he more so was calling out the production and other people like Sabrina that had their hand into violating her in this manner. Okay. So yeah, it's a sad story, y'all. I just can't. They said during the hearing, let's get into more of this, because I didn't know that. Okay. So let me see where we are. Kevin's back in court after his divorce payments ceased in 2022. They said the former TV executive, father of two, has been working to get the former host's financial records from the time since they divorced through her being placed in guardianship. Kevin has argued that the records are needed for his discovery. Remember, I told y'all that we just went into an article where he needs that for discovery, and Sabrina was fighting to not give him that, and the judge says you need to get that man his information. She was supposed to get that man the information in 2022. She's supposed to give him that. You should have put a time frame on it. You need to give him this by a certain date or whatever the consequences are going to be. Like, what the fuck? What else? During the hearing, Kevin brought up a case in which Sabrina was named as a defendant and was accused of being involved in a racketeering scheme involving another ward who is not under her guardianship. And I believe that was the man that had the $30 million that they was trying to run amok on. But if you go to that 1 hour video that I did on guardianships, I believe that it all may be there. Yeah, she was accused of robbing a client that really wasn't even her client in $30 million lawsuit while controlling troubled host finances. Okay, girl, just a mess. Just a mess. Okay, Mauricio and other attorneys were accused in the suit of conspiring to perpetuate a baseless guardianship against an individual, Jose, in New York, who had won a $5.5 million suit, or shall I say a personal injury claim. All right. They said the plaintiff in the case represented this person. Okay, so they listed the attorneys after he sustained a head and back injury from a construction accident. The case was opened in November of 2022, and in August of 2023, the plaintiff filed they discontinued the above entitled action without prejudice and without cost to either party as against the other. Let's see. The courts alleged that Rodriguez misrepresented Verdugo and told him and his wife, who desperately needed the award money, that his case could not be finalized unless he consented to a particular guardianship. What kind of predatory shit is that? This man had these millions of dollars, and then you go and threaten him, try and tell him that he can't handle this type of money. Oh my God, you can't handle this type of money. This is going on well with me. X, Y, and Z, ABC. You know, you're going to have to sign this MHL Article 81 guardianship that they did not want and that they did not need. And this is typically what happens with guardians. They are forced into guardianship. And the crazy thing is, a family member ain't even in control of their stuff. It's these random ass attorneys that have no care, no desire, no connection to said person that they're guardian. That makes no sense. It should be illegal. What the hell? Oh, girl, this kills me softly so much. They said Miss Mauricio is under a RICO investigation, and there is a lot of things going on. Okay, there's a lot of bullshit that's happening. This is what Kevin said in court. He says, I have no problem with arbitration. He says, I just want the documents from the finances, is what he told the judge. I know that's right. I ain't got no problem. I just want the coins. Okay. He says there were blatant lies in what Sabrina, has been telling us, and we still haven't seen the bank records, and she's supposed to give us access to the retirement accounts. Where is the documentation? Where is the money? Okay. The more you hold on to it, the more you're confirming that you over there hiding something. And y'all done shook and moved Wendy money so hard. These $55 million in what, about 2 years, baby? Girl, get a man the documents. And Judge, Your Honor, I feel like she continued to disrespect you, Your Honor, because you put an order in and she has not followed through with that order, Your Honor. She playing on your top, Your Honor. You need to handle this accordingly, sir. All right. They said, Kevin says there has been gross negligence. And as far as her being a guardian, I don't trust this woman. Come on, Kevin. Y'all say what y'all want to say about Kevin, baby, but I'm here for him on this, Your Honor. I'm not rocking with this, Your Honor. Now, the judge then told Kevin that despite any allegations against guardian Sabrina, that doesn't make this case an emergent matter. Yes, the hell it do. Yes, the hell it do. Sabrina rebuttals was short. She denied knowledge of the RICO case. I guess she tried to say she ain't know nothing about no RICO case. Okay, where the money at, LaShondra? Those that know, where the money at, LaShondra? Where is the money? All right. They said, Kevin said, the Guardian and Wendy's counsel have not given me a reason to stop for stopping the payments. If Miss Maurici had tried to modify the payments, that would have been different. I'm not just concerned about the money, but she's come in and swooped in and depleted the counts in that time. This has become a real travesty. Period. Okay. Kevin said he about business in his suit. He gonna represent himself. Wendy has, quote unquote, no money during the mediation in December of 2022 over Kevin ceased divorce severance payments. The mediator told her ex and his team the reality is that there is no money. I do remember that being said as well. Now, mind you, this right here, in my opinion, will corroborate with what the best friend Regina just said, because she saw 55 million in there in July, and then she go in December, have a meeting with Bank of America about moving the funds around. She was sitting there in that meeting, and if you're listing all of the people that was in that meeting, those people can confirm, and so can the cameras, that she was sitting in that meeting with this lady, only for you to turn around weeks later to tell Wendy that she ain't got no fucking money. Are you okay, ma'am? All right. They said the mediation sessions, we aim to move along Kevin's claims that he is owed money from his and Wendy's marital settlement agreement. The insider added that despite the allegations about Wendy's financial affairs, there's no proof offered to them to support the allegation. Insiders have claimed that Kevin has repeatedly asked for Wendy's financial records during mediation. He has repeatedly asked for it. And it has been, I feel, a disrespect to the courts for her to not provide such information. Kevin said his ex's guardian had assured him he would have access to financial records, but they have never materialized. All right. That she has never given it. All right. They also say that Wendy can be seen on her docuseries also saying that she has no money, because that's what was told to her. Hell, she ain't even got to say it, to be honest, because what did we see? What we ended up seeing was Wendy selling off her clothing and items and stuff because she didn't have no money. Her selling her home being sold and her being moved. Now, I already, and I have to keep reminding y'all because some people might want to go check it out, the guardianship video. There was an older man that had a brownstone, I think that's what they call it in New York. He was under a conservatorship. He had bought that home. I'm sure he wanted to keep it for his family or whatever. But once he became under that guardianship, that home sold. The guardianship put that home up for sale. Once she put it up for sale, she received a hefty amount. I think he may have sold for $1 million or so. She definitely got a few hundreds of thousands. Okay, not this guardian that's over Wendy, but another guardian that I do believe was an attorney out there in New York. She received money off of a property that she never sold, never maintained. Okay, or shall I say never purchased, never maintained, done none of that. But she definitely sold it, and she received a coinage from it. And on top of that, they will also sell items in your house. I guess that's where they probably be doing the estate sales and stuff. Let people rummage all through the people's house, sell the furniture and stuff, and they also get a kickback from that too. That should be illegal. How dare you have people slave away their entire life, build up the lifestyle that they build, help this fucking economy, and y'all pay back to them is for them to go into guardianship and have things taken away from them. Baby, what? Oh, it's so frustrating. I hate that. It's very, 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 very sad. Okay. But I had to bring this story to y'all, give y'all the latest updates of what's going on with Wendy Williams having 55 million. And then now she ain't got nothing. Ooh, all of this after she wanted to shake and move some damn money. And I feel like people saw an opportunity. It's a mess. Okay. So y'all can continue the conversation down below and let me know your thoughts about this Wendy Williams situation.